seems like yesterday, but it was probably more like 30 years ago, as technology was moving at the speed of light. All I heard at that time was, because of all this new technology, we would see the paperless office, or even the paperless world. I mean, why need paper when we have all this great technology now? Well, here we are in 2022, and the paperless office, or the paperless world, is still not with us. But a lot of people are still promoting it. Hi, I'm Jim Kohler, the paper professor for Sylvamo Papers, to talk about why the paperless world will not happen, at least not in our lifetime, but more why it shouldn't. We're going paperless and saving the forest, they screamed. It's an easy, accessible way for companies to tell customers that they care about the environment. But is trading print for digital communications really more sustainable? More than 500 companies have recently removed misleading environmental claims from their websites, thanks to an anti-greenwashing campaign led by Two Sides, a nonprofit that's on a mission to dispel common environmental misconceptions by providing verifiable information on the sustainability of print and paper. According to the organization, corporate greenwashing is often used to cover up the environmental footprint of electronic communications and digital waste. So it's really important you really know all the facts. I just mentioned greenwashing. So what is greenwashing? Well, greenwashing is the act of making environmental claims in order to make something like a process, a product, or a company, for example, seem more environmentally friendly or sustainable than it really is. Anti-print and paper messages are abound in the U.S. today. Organizations are still claiming in their marketing materials that e-billing is environmentally preferable to paper bills. Saves trees, you know, they say. Really? There are efforts today to urge banks, utilities, and telecommunication companies to end the use of misleading claims about print and paper and the impact on the environment. Let's face it, electronics run on juice, meaning electricity. To produce electricity, you need power, which means coal, gas, or nuclear power plants. To this day, when I listen to technology or other podcasts, I continue to hear about how paper books, newspapers, and magazines are killing the trees, and hence the forest. They say we are a lot better to be using our iPads, Kindles, and other electronic technology, such as email, the cloud, etc. They say using paper is killing trees in the forests. Really? Maybe those technology experts should really look at the facts. In a nutshell, the biggest threats to the forest and its trees isn't the forest products industry. It's fires and infestation and even development. The fact is the use of paper is actually good for the forest. The older trees will consume the sun and the nutrients that the younger saplings needs but can't get to because of the larger old trees. Without these vital ingredients, the saplings or younger trees will die off, and the forest is not replenished as well. So you may have heard the term digital waste or e-waste. What is it? Well, since the advent of cloud computing, each of us is contributing to a growing digital footprint, consisting of every email we've ever sent, every digital photo we've ever saved, and every file we've ever uploaded into the cloud. All of this data, most of it long forgotten, lives on a server in a data center somewhere, consuming energy. Electronic waste, or e-waste, consists of all the hardware, such as the phones, the laptops, the tablets, and more, that reaches the end of its usable life and winds up, in the worst case, a landfill. Now, I know that so many people think it's the paper industry, or even the forest products industry, for cutting all the trees in the forest. But the fact is, over 50% of the global wood harvest is used for fuel, while 30% is processed for other industries, like furniture. Only around 13% is used to make paper. So with this fact, the way it works is that the paper industry selectively cuts and then replants trees. In general, for every tree taken, 3 to 4 are replanted. The old days of clear cutting are long gone, at least in North America. As I said earlier, in North America, the biggest threat to our forest isn't the paper industry, it's bugs, fire, and development. The paper industry realizes forests are one of the world's most valuable resources and home to more than half of the world's land-based animal and plant species. In fact, to assure forests are kept alive and working, two major organizations have been developed. The two most recognized schemes for sustaining the forest are the FFC, or Forest Stewardship Council, and SFI, or Sustainable Forest Initiative. Both have similar objectives, which are the certification of forest to credible, independently verified standards of responsible forest management, conserving the natural habitats of plant and animals, and respecting the rights of forestry workers, as well as local communities. Both operate a robust chain of custody schemes that track wood and wood fibers throughout every step of the supply chain, from the forest to the end user. So this tracks the paper the printer uses right back to the forest. You will see their logos on printed pieces that printers or their customers have used, indicating certification by either organization. This means they do value the forest and want them treated as such. First and foremost, paper is a renewable resource. Responsible managed forest can be harvested and replanted time and time again. But there are three key things to know about using paper. The first, does the paper come from a responsibly managed working forest? Working forests help to keep forest lands forested. Not only does this help to preserve the entire planet and wildlife ecosystems, but these forests also help to cleanse the atmosphere by trapping carbon. The second, is the paper certified? Look to a reliable third-party source such as the Forest Stewardship Council or the Sustainable Forest Initiative to verify the responsible supply chain of your paper. The third is, how is the paper made? The process that is used to make your paper is just as important as the fibers that go into it. Paper can be made in an energy-intensive way using fossil fuels, or it can be made in an energy-efficient way using biomass. Paper can be made in a way that wastes water, or it can be made in a way that reuses water, and eventually, returns it to the watershed. Before I tell you why paper is still the best choice for use, use your phone's camera to scan the QR code displayed on the screen to learn more about Sylvamo's commitment to sustaining healthy and productive forest systems. Okay, let's face it. Paper still is often the best tool for the job. Although a lot of our tools and systems are now digital, many of the touch points that businesses have with their customers and constituents remain analog. In many settings, paper will lovingly remain the most practical choice for capturing information. In some situation, it may be the only choice. Let's face it, paper doesn't break, run out of batteries, face security breaches, or need upgrading, unless, of course, you want to move from Williamsburg offset to XN opaque. So once you've done everything you can do to ensure you're sourcing paper that is responsibly harvested and made, do your part by, you guessed it, recycling. Unfortunately, due to time limits, I could go on about why paper is still the best choice, especially paper such as XN opaque, which just happens to cover all the bases I have talked about. Before I cut out of here and leave you all, and for those who didn't see the news back in November of 2021, in March of 2022, the Pantone color libraries are leaving Adobe products such as Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, etc. Right now, the Pantone colors come preloaded in the design software, but will be removed in future software updates. Adobe has told users to stay tuned for updates. Today, Pantone is directing its users to download Pantone Connect, an app that's available via the Adobe Extension Marketplace, the Apple App Store, as well as the Google Play Store, and as a web app for your browser. Pantone has a free and paid version of the app. This is going to take time to see how this all plays out for creatives, printers, and the others in the industry. See the latest Sylvamo's DYK22 or Did You Know 22 series article. If you are interested in subscribing to these great articles, go to xnopaque.com or just use your phone to scan the QR code displayed on the screen. Well, with all that, I'm Jim Kohler, the paper professor for Sylvamo Papers, and don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell so you don't want to miss any episodes. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next episode.